Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, introduce you from group 1. Here we want to make a discussion about reference and interface. We hope you enjoy this discussion and happy watching. What is reference and interface? According to you, reference is an act by which a speaker or writer use language to enable a listener or reader to identify something. An interface is any additional information used by the listener to connect what is said to what must be meant. Example for reference, I saw Harry here yesterday. I as a subject, saw as a verb, Harry is a direct object, here is a location, yesterday is a time. This sentence indicates that the speaker saw someone named Harry in the same location where the speaker is currently and this event happened yesterday. Example for inference, can I look at your Kamsky? I enjoy listening to Mozart. This process is where additional information is needed to connect what is said to what is meant. So, reference it is indicate which thing or people are being talked about to identify things. Reference is something having physical extents, and interface is the conclusion you draw from what you have observed. Interface is allow the listener to identify correctly which particular entity the speaker is referring to. Hi guys, did you understand my explanation just now? I hope you understand. Let's move on to the next discussion. Okay, the next is referential and attribute uses. Referential is a specific person is referred to, although his or her name or some other description is not used. So, the referent is a specific person in the mind of the speaker. The speaker uses the description to enable his audience to pick out the person or thing he is talking about. The referential use the definite noun phrase from their attributive use. For example, I saw a cat on the street. The cat was gray. In this example, the cat in the second sentence refers back to the specific cat mentioned earlier. It's used to identify the specific entity that has already been introduced in the discourse. Next, attribute use. Attribute use is physically present. It is exists but unknown and it is whatever fits the description. Example for attribute use, I saw a cat on the street. The cat's tail was fluffy. In this example, the cat's tail is an attributive use. It's describing a specific attribute, fluffiness, on the cat's tail. This type of use provides additional information about a noun, typically without a possessive or adjectival construction. Okay, for the next discussion is about name and reference. What is name? In linguistic terms, a name is a word or phrase used to identify, label, or refer to something, be it a person, place, thing, or abstract concept. Names can be proper nouns, specific names for individuals or place, like John or Paris, or common noun, general name for category or classes of things like dog or city. For example, in the sentence, John went to Paris. John and Paris are the name. They refer to specific individuals and location, respectively. The next is reference. What is reference? A reference is the person, place, thing, or idea. That name refers to reference depends upon the context in which they are used.
For example, of reference in the sentence, she picked up the book. Book is the reference of the word book. The word book refers to the physical object being talked about in the sentence. Definition of context. According to Yule, context is a set of words used in the same word or phrase. So, it means it includes the word and phrases that come before and after the word or phrase in the question, as well as the larger context of the text such as topic, genre, and the purpose of the text. Without the context, the linguistic materials we could not get the exact meaning. In the pragmatics, context is all about meaning, and to be able to understand as a listener what the speaker is referring to, you need some addition. For example of context, if a speaker says the teacher, the hearer will have many mental representation in order to understand the utterance. But to simplify the process, the speakers add the grammar teacher. So here is another fun example. Imagine you have the word bat. Now, depending on where you find this word, it can mean different things. Let's see. In a baseball game, if you find the word bat in a sentence like he swung the bat, it means the long thin stick-like thing used to hit a baseball. But if you find the word bat in a sentence like the bat flew in the night, it means the bat here is a flying mammal. See how the word bat can change its meaning based on where it's found? That's because of context. So, context is help us to figure out what a word is trying to tell us by considering the words around it. The role of context. The role of context in the context of linguistics and textual analysis is to provide contextual information that helps in understanding and interpreting a specific word, phrase, or sentence within a larger text or discourse. So the role of context first. Understanding the meaning of words and phrases. Context can help us to understand the meaning of potentially ambiguous words or phrases by providing clues about their intended sense in the particular context. For example, in the sentence, he caught a fly. The context of fly is clarifies that fly refers to the insect, not an action. Second, reference resolutions. Context helps identify reference for pronouns and other reference-dependent elements in a text. It links words like he, she, it, or this to their antecedents in the preceding text. Third, contextual understanding. Context provides information about the settings, characters, events, and the circumstances in the text, allowing readers or listeners to make a sense of the overall narrative or discourse. Fourth, sentiment and tone. Context influences the interpretations of the emotional tone or sentiment of a passage. The words and phrases around a particular word can evoke how that word is perceived emotionally. Fifth, syntax and grammar. Context contributes to understanding the grammatical structure of sentence, including subject-verb relationships, verb tense, and other grammatical elements. So, what is anaphoric reference? Anaphoric reference means that a word in a text refers back to other ideas in the text for its meaning. Anaphoric reference occurs when a word or phrase in a text refers back to something previously mentioned in a text. This helps provide coherence and clarity in the writing by connecting ideas and helping readers understand the relationship between different elements of the text. So here is an example of anaphoric reference in a sentence. Gio loves his dog. He takes it for a walk every morning. The word his, he, and it are anaphoric reference. His is refers back to Gio. He is refers back to John, and it is refer back to the dog. And another example of anaphoric reference is I love to read. I love to learn new things. I love to be transported to different worlds. In this example, you are repeating the phrase I love at the beginning of each sentence to emphasize your love of reading. In each of these examples, the speaker repeats a word or phrase at the beginning of several sentences or clauses in order to emphasize their point.
Okay guys, that's all the presentation of material that I can be convey. We hope that the material we convey can be understood well. If there is something wrong, we apologize. Thank you.